Hello Ride On people. So just enjoying a ride on my friend's Ducati Multistrada V2S. It's got a beautiful carbon fibre screen and has a small beeline for navigation, which looks pretty perfect up there in the dash. And he's put some bar end mirrors on it, but otherwise it's stock. And this bike feels extremely light. I'm not sure the exact weight, you'll have to check that out online, but it feels pretty light and has a peppy 950 engine, making about 115 horsepower. It feels very secure, very lightweight, planted, but a little cramped for my 6'2" frame. But I have just stepped off a Triumph Rally Explorer Tiger 1200. That is an extremely tall bike, so my legs are going to feel a little cramped after that. And this thing just whips through the bends. Previously I was the owner of a V4S Multistrada, so I can relate to that fairly well in terms of handling. It feels even more agile and certainly grippier than the V4S, and in terms of speed, you know it's ample for the real world. It's putting it all in the sub 100 miles per hour bracket, and in that respect it's ample for all of us really. Here for instance we're pulling 70 mile per hour at just 4,500 revs. That's nothing really in terms of the real world. The seat comfort is similar to the Multistrada V4S, but the suspension isn't quite as good as the electronic skyhook on the V4S, which is exceptionally good, but this does feel very firm, very secure, very planted. I've actually got it in sport mode at the moment on these twisty roads, and it really is a lot of fun. I think in terms of myself, if I was looking at this bike, it would make a fantastic second bike, especially when I know I've got a twisty ride on. But equally, to get to the mountains or the twisty roads, it would be a comfortable bike to get there on. It still has a modicum of decent comfort, much more so than the Street Fighter for instance. So what I would say is that if I was buying an adventure bike and it was between the Multistrada V4S and the Multistrada V2S, it would be a difficult decision, because the V4S has a few more gadgets and gizmos in terms of blind spot monitoring and active cruise, which is particularly nice on a touring bike. And the V4S has more power as well. However, this is a lot lower to the ground. It's a lot lighter, a lot more agile, and it just sounds better, I think. It's hard to beat the sound of a Ducati L-Twin, and this is a particularly nice one. God, it's beautiful out here today, isn't it? It's late September day here in Georgia with blue skies and sunshine, about 70 degrees. I wonder if this nice gentleman in his monster truck will let me by. Let's see. I'll give him a friendly wave and thank you, and progress on with the ride. The wind blast over this small screen is actually quite welcome, and the decent sized handguards on this, I think they would give decent protection in winter. So comparing this with the V4S, I would say that if you are under 6 foot and you ride solo, get one of these. I think they're more fun. I think it's a real fun bike. It's like a grown-up super motard if you like. Of course it will carry pillions, no problem, but if you really want to do 2 up for 2 or 3 weeks away, then probably the V4S is your huckleberry. But for me, on days like today, on roads like these, hell yeah, I kind of wish I had one. If I had one-piece leathers on today, I would try and get my knee down for sure. This thing just handles like a whippet. This bike actually has a pretty good safety margin because it's very nimble and very agile. It has very strong brakes, firm suspension. It's really like a comfy race replica with high bars. And I think that is exactly what Douglas was looking for. He had a Street Fighter and Hyperstrada, and this is kind of like the love child of the two. There's a lot happening on the dash in terms of the clocks, but I think you work it all out in time. Seems to have everything you need. So yeah, in conclusion, a really fun bike and one I'd love to own. I'm glad he's let me have a go of it. He almost insisted, he's such a gentleman. And I think he knew how much I would love and enjoy it, and I do. It's a very nice bike ergonomically. I like the way my thighs wrap around the tank, and I love the utility and the way it's clearly a fun bike, and I think you get good credibility with other bikers, as you can see there. So yeah baby, this bike's freaking brilliant.
Hey you,
If you want to become one of the Ride On people, don't forget to subscribe. Ride often, ride carefully, ride on.